Brock Lesnar has retired, and on his way out, he put over Oba Femi like no other wrestler has put someone over in the past. Now, full disclosure, I am not a Brock Lesnar fan. I am wearing a Brock Lesnar shirt, though, probably one of the only 2 times I'll ever do it on this channel, and that's to show respect for Brock and what he did for Oba Femi. Not one point in the Oba-Brock feud did Brock ever really get the upper hand, unless you count the Royal Rumble. He did not come out of the Royal Rumble, but that aside, when Oba accepted the Brock challenge a couple weeks ago, he powerbombed him, he put his foot on his chest, and from that point forward, at best, Brock only got toe-to-toe with Oba Femi, never the upper hand. And then, in a 4-minute match, Brock sold his butt off to let Oba beat him. Oba is now the next big thing, and yeah. Thank you, Brock. I did not enjoy your second run. I loved when you were beating up the one-legged kid in your first run. I loved your wars with Kurt Angle. But yeah, not so much your second run. And I hated that you squashed John Cena. I'm not forgiving you. But I will say that I respect what you did at WrestleMania 42. And thank you, sir, for putting over Oba Femi. Now, let's get into some hot takes. After we talk, this belt right here, I'm going to give it away. I said at 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a belt of your choosing, whoever gets to win it. And that's going to happen this Saturday on a live stream. But you are also entered to win the 30,000 subscriber giveaway, because I give away a belt every 10,000 subscribers. All you got to do is comment below and subscribe to the channel, and you can win this belt right here. It's not a toy, people. It's a replica. All right. Rainer Rep says Roman brought back that bloodline theme. Yes, he brought back the bloodline theme, and he brought back that love and feeling. He brought back that love and feeling. We're back, baby. I acknowledge my tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I'm so excited. I am so excited that Roman is back on top. Errol Noir, though, says Roman shouldn't have won. We need to stop putting heavyweight championships on part-timers. It's a spit in the face of the real talent that's there weekly. I used to agree with you, and on some levels I still do agree with you, but I lost that battle a long time ago. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Brock Lesnar, because he was like the first guy, the first part-timer who made it such a thing. That said, you could be like, well, you're a hypocrite then, because weren't you just singing Bring Back That Loving Feeling with Roman Reigns? Yeah, that's a fair argument. You can say I'm a hypocrite. But I'll say this also. I will say this also. You know what my favorite holiday is? It's Christmas. It's Christmas. And how many times does Santa Claus come around? Once a year. But guess what? That once a year that Santa comes feels so special and magical that I'm like looking forward to it all year. So if Roman Reigns only comes back 3 times, but he brings back that magical feeling, then I'll be okay with it. Now, I think he'll be here more than 3 times, but I don't think he'll be here 52 weeks a year. But like, I'll take 3 magical appearances from Roman Reigns than I will 40 lame, boring, respectful appearances from Cody Rhodes. Because, boy, howdy, Roman makes the story and everything around him, his orbit, feel special and amazing, and that's what wrestling is to me. So I do want Roman here more times, and I'm not trying to make fun of you, but, like, I'm okay with wrestling feeling a certain way. If you can get that feeling, if Cody can make me feel that way, then I'd be like, put the belt on Cody the full-timer, but he doesn't. Ever since Cody has won the title, like, WWE doesn't feel as much as epic as it once did. And you can say all day long, well, that's Triple H's fault. Fine. But Triple H doesn't know how to write anybody but Roman Reigns. Because I'll tell you that Oba does make me feel like something epic is about to happen. So I would be okay with also Oba getting the title. But right now, it's like Oba or Roman. It's Hop says, as far as my opinion goes, they got all the winners correct. Was not prepared for what Brock did, and it brought tears to my eyes. Thanks, Brock, for all the memories, both in WWE and UFC. One of those federations is fake. I'm not going to tell you which one. We'll do like 3 or 4 more posts, and then we'll get to other hot takes, so don't worry, this won't be just a pure Brock video. But I was not prepared to get emotional either. I remember he just started taking off his gloves and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, is he retiring? And then for me to actually feel anything but kind of hatred or apathy towards the guy, like... This is the guy who beat Kofi Kingston in 8 seconds. This is the guy who ended the Undertaker streak. Did not think I'd ever be like, oh, I'm kind of sorry to see him go. Even though he squashed John Cena at WrestlePalooza. I was. So, like, you know, fair play. And as for the correct winners, I thought... I could see everybody as the correct winner. I did want Javon to win. I did want Jade Cargill to win. However, I understand why they lost. Tiz Mickey says, the night was 1,000 times better than last night. Yeah, night 2, leagues better than night 1. Oba is amazing, and he's got to win King of the Ring this year. Yeah, you know, if he does win King of the Ring, then he follows the path that Brock Lesnar did. But that means then he would be winning the belt at SummerSlam. Ooh, should we do it that quick? Part of me says yes. Part of me says yes. The other part does too. Jessica Nunzo says, after watching, I still think Brock and Oba should have been the main event. I literally cried when Brock retired. He's never been one for bells and whistles, and I guess he went out on his terms. I would say this. If, like, the Roman Punk main event to me was the proper main event. But if they had put Oba Brock on night 1, that would have been then fine. Yes, they could have, like, the Cody Orton thing after it was all said and done, and hindsight is 2020. I would have much rathered Oba Brock be the main event of night 1. I could see that. But I loved the hot start to night 2 and the hot finish of night 2. But to be honest with you, WWE did trick me. WWE did trick me last night. I was so like, oh my God, this is the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Night 2, well, maybe not of all time, but I gave it like a 9 out of 10. Night 2, not night 1. Night 1 was like a 3 out of 10. I gave night 2 a 9 out of 10. I probably should have gave it an 8 out of 10. I got tricked by such a great beginning and such a great end that my adrenaline was like, I got rose-colored glasses throughout the other matches. The other matches definitely should have been longer. Jade and Rhea, that was fine, but Trick and Sami, they should have had a longer time to tell a story. The Demon King and Dominik should have had a longer time to tell the story. So I was tricked a little, but, you know, fair play. They got me. And, you know, that's what wrestling is. They should try to trick us, the audience, all the time. BTC Blitzy says, Oba is the next King of the Ring, and Roman is about to do a full-time schedule. Hopefully. Well, on the post-show, Roman did say, we're going to stop all this part-time nonsense. Get used to me. Ron Talks Tabletop says, did not see Brock's retirement at WrestleMania. Yeah, caught me off guard too, but... did he retire? Flamin' Nick says, the beast as we know it has been retired. As for Brock Lesnar, I still believe Gunther will bait him out to put him away forever this summer. Yeah, the thing is this, like, Paul Heyman owes Gunther a favor. Now, myself included, has said maybe Brock just went into business for himself and he didn't want to tap out to Gunther, so he was just like, you know what? Screw it. I retire. If anyone would do it, I could see Brock just saying, I don't care about your plans. I'm just done. Oba, I pick Oba to retire me. Peace out. Bye. But here's the deal. What if he didn't? And this is all planned. Brock Lesnar retires, and then throughout the summer, we have Gunther just bullying Paul Heyman and saying, you owe me a favor. You're going to pay up. And then Paul Heyman has to go to Brock Lesnar and say, hey, Brock, please, can you come out just one more match? And then Brock shows up. So that favor that Gunther is owed could still come into play where Brock actually has one more match in him. I hope not, though, because I agree with Drag KMO. Please, WWE, please don't ruin the magic of Brock Lesnar's retirement by giving him one last match. It was so poetic and crazy seeing him take off his boots after the match and passing the torch. So I agree with this guy right here. I will say that taking off your boots and your gloves, that usually does signify donezo. But don't forget, after the Undertaker Roman Reigns match, Undertaker did that. He took off his boots. He did all that, but then he wrestled like 5 or 6 more times after that. So I really do hope that Brock is retired on multiple levels. But for the most part, though, I think it was just a very fitting end. It was such a fitting and beautiful end, even, of a complete passing of the torch, that I really hope they don't try to milk it for one more match against Gunther. I get it. Gunther is the career killer. I understand why people would want that. I do get it. I just think that this would be the better ending. Daniel Kinzer says, Punk proved to Roman and the world that he can still go. Yeah, this was a great storytelling. This was a great story. And it was definitely the story of Old Man Punk, but it wasn't Old Man Punk needs to retire. It was Old Man Punk can still go. Now, yes, the younger cub did beat him, but there was no shame in that loss for CM Punk. Tracy Wood says, I wasn't a Lesnar fan, but I do respect him putting Oba over. Same. Glad Rhea won. Jade is boring to me. I know a lot of people don't like Jade. I just happen to like her, but I understand why Rhea won. And Punk and Roman's match was amazing. Heart pounding 1 minute, and then heart dropped in my stomach the next to go to beating so hard I thought it would explode. I got that ride of a roller coaster after all, yes. And the thing is, they had the time to tell the story. That's why I kind of regret my review last night and saying, oh yeah, everything was great. When you only have like 7 to 10 minutes to tell a story, you can't do the ebbs and flows of the match like Roman and Punk did. Now, that's not a knock on Roman and Punk. Great job. I just wish that the others would have got that too. WrestleDown says, Night 2 was everything Night 1 should have been, and probably my favorite part was the return of Roman Reigns, the head of the table theme. We are so back, baby. Yeah, everybody loves that theme, and that is a banger theme. Eric Shook says, hot take, WrestleMania should go back to just one night. Most of Night 1 could have been on SmackDown and Raw. Yeah, Night 1 was definitely a decent episode of SmackDown. But, you know what Big Daddy TKO would say, shut up, peasants. Soul Collector says, Punk should have won, especially after that DQ. Technically Useless says, hot take, if the referee could just ignore the rules and let wrestlers do whatever they want, should I care about the rules as a fan? We're talking about, at one point, Roman Reigns picked up the steel steps and literally hit CM Punk with it in his head while he was upside down, caught in the turnbuckle while the referee watched. That was the only black mark on this for me. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. I get it. We can't just do a disqualification in the main event. Like the last time they did that, that was Sid Vicious versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 8, and that sucked. That sucked. It really did. You can't have a count out or a disqualification in your main event. But you also can't just blatantly break the rules like that. You know, if nothing else, have the referee call it and then have Nick Aldis come out and say, no, we're not ending it like that. You know, this is now a no DQ match, bloodline rules match. I don't care. They should have done something to correct that, because I was annoyed by that as well. And I appreciate that CM Punk, when he did his low blow, he distracted the ref by throwing the tape. They got rid of the tape, and then he did it behind the ref's back. It was explained. That's what you just got to do. Roman Reigns Acknowledge Me says, Cody got injured for our entertainment, but Night 1 still sucked. I feel bad for him. Hope he's okay. Oh, yeah. Even if I do not like the wrestler or the wrestling match, I do like Cody, by the way. But even if I don't like their character or their storyline or whatever, I'll never wish ill upon anybody. I hated Bill Goldberg, but I never wish him injured. I just wish he would go away forever and never be heard from again. But I never wanted him to be actually injured. So, yes, Night 1 sucked. Cody and Randy, It ultimately sucked, but like, I hope they're okay. Carmichael says, the whole show was lit, but the return of the Demon was a highlight for me. His entrance walking through all those streamers was BA, and him winning was the only logical outcome. Very logical outcome for him to win. Now we can have Doms complain how he wasn't prepared for the Demon, and then they could maybe sign a contract for Backlash where it specifically says he's facing Finn Balor and not the Demon. Matt is haunted, but random thought, but is this the first time ever John Cena did nothing to elevate the show? He just kind of seemed awkward. Controversial, maybe. Yeah, it was definitely kind of a disappointment. I was hoping for a little more. I didn't even need a him interfering or doing any spots, but I was kind of hoping for more John Cena than just, welcome guys and gals, and here's your attendance records. Adam the Alien says, did you enjoy the Danhausen segment? I wasn't entertained by it, and I wanted to know if it was just a me thing. I am entertained by Danhausen, really like the Danhausen character, but last night was a miss for me personally, and it's not because I don't like the Danhausen gimmick. I actually do, but I was not a fan of last night. But some people loved it, some people didn't love it. Yesterday was just not for me, and that's okay. It's okay. It's like, he doesn't need to hit a home run every single time with me personally. Comedy is subjective, and for whatever reason, I was watching it and was not entertained. There were some good moments, like he runs under the ring, he does the smoke, and John Cena can still see him, all these things. So it wasn't like night one bad, but it wasn't night two good, in my opinion. The Argyle Protocol says, hot take, the Demon is so stupid looking, but Finn is so dang locked in as the Demon, he could easily have a title again if he brought the same intensity to every match. I like that comment. I actually like the way the Demon looks, but I like the fact that you're like, yeah, this looks stupid, but I can tell that it's still good on some levels. And I love that kind of thinking where you can not like something, but objectively find value in it still at the same time. Mr. Pete says, super hot take, Brock's retirement match was way more impactful than John Cena's retirement match. I agree. I absolutely agree. Because, again, I don't mind the veteran losing on his way out, because this was a great example of that. But they were able to tell a story. John Cena and Gunther, they didn't tell a story at all leading into the match. And then when they did, the story became he tapped John Cena out, who was a guy that said, I will never tap out. And ever since then, nobody's been tapping out. They've all been just passing out. So why did John Cena have to pass out? They just ruined John Cena's retirement by doing so many things that were just like, no story, having him tap out. Weird. Raphael at Air says, I'm okay with Penta retaining, but I honestly wanted Rusev to win this one so he could go on a generational run with the Intercontinental title. Yeah, they really need to do something with Rusev. I understand why Penta won. I'm okay with Penta winning, but like Rusev was a low-key somebody that I wanted Javon Evans to win, but like there was a part of me that was like, ooh, give it to Rusev. Let's see what he can do. Because Rusev has been a really good mid-card champion in the past, and like we could have used him as like a final boss of the mid-card. Bishop Marley says Jade versus Rhea was far better than it had any right to be. Jade looked like a natural in there, and she's beating all the allegations against her. Phenomenal performance. Both of them, both Jade and Rhea, great job. I have to eat my words now, because many times leading into this match, go back on my channel, I said this was going to be a train crash. This was going to be the worst match of the night, but I liked their match a lot. I think they both did a great job. Great job, Rhea Ripley being the veteran in the ring. Great job, Jade Cargill, locking in, putting on a great and stellar performance. This was a great match, maybe the best women's match of the weekend, and I was very pleasantly surprised. And I will admit that I was wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong. And then Marmy says, all matches in this Mania felt so clean and sanitized, it wasn't fun to watch, apart from the main event and Oba's match. You definitely have an argument there. WWE in general is a little too clean and sanitized. And then time to check out AEW. Also, love your videos, you bald idiot. You're right, I am a bald idiot. And I do highly recommend people do check out AEW. I really do. Even though night 2 saved night 1, it's like if night 1 was a harbinger of things to come, we need a strong competition second place for WWE. In fact, I wouldn't mind if AEW became first place because WWE, Triple H, they only seem to really get off their butts and be creative when their backs are against the wall. So, this bald idiot agrees with what you said. All right, boys. All right, girls. See ya, bye.